Facebook for beginners. This is setting up your Facebook page. So you can see here, I am logged into Facebook. One of the uh, most common questions I get asked is actually, do I have to have a personal page to have a Facebook business page? Yes, you do. Facebook, for a brief period of time, tried the whole model where you could just sign up for a business page. That was for if you were a large corporation, you probably didn't want to have a business page tied to somebody's personal account. But Facebook takes the they have a need for there to be a person behind that. They don't want to worry about spamming. They don't want to worry about fake accounts. And so there is a level of security by requiring the business page to be tied to a person. So you do have to have a personal account. Go ahead and sign up for one. Because the other thing I'm telling you, as somebody who has worked in social media for a while now, if you do not use Facebook for personal use, right, you really should not be using Facebook for business use. It is a tool. Just like if you are a graphic designer or want to be a graphic designer and you need to know how to use Photoshop. If you want to do social media marketing, you need to be savvy. It is a community and there is a set of rules that you need to follow, and you're not going to be privy to those rules if you don't utilize Facebook on a regular basis. You have to be in there every day. I am of that generation. I am tied to my phone all the time. I don't use a desktop computer all that often, but I get alerts to my phone and I am constantly on Facebook. And if that's not something for you, that's okay. There are other forms of social media marketing or free marketing that we can talk about that might be a better option. That being said, if you still want to move forward, you're like, I want that business page. You're going to log into your personal Facebook account. You can see here, I've got some stuff I can follow. I've followed. So Despicable Me is an awesome movie. I'm excited to go see it this weekend. And I have a page that might look a little bit different than yours because I already have a business page. And you can see it's already giving me some information over here. I'm going to veer over to the left side, all right? And you'll see under the Explore section, Pages, I'm going to click on that. And because I already have pages, I have my OutsideAgents.com. If you haven't liked us, please go do so and write awesome things about Outside Agents and in particularly me. Thank you. And then I also have something called Amber's Awesome Page. Amber's Awesome Page is a demo page. We are not going to start an Amber's Awesome Page though. We're going to go up here to this beautiful green button. And we always want to push beautiful green buttons, especially when they say create page. Go ahead and click on it. Look, it takes you again. See, it's very intuitive. They set it up for you so you didn't have to think too much. We don't want this to be hard work. We want to get your page launched so you can start building your business. So we have some options: local business or place, company, organization, or institution, brand or product, artist, band, or public figure, entertainment, cause, or community. This is where it's probably confusing. Am I a local business or place or a company, organization, or institution? I recommend local business or place because of the indexing that's going to happen with Google, and we're going to talk about in October. There's going to be a Facebook analytics webinar where we're actually going to go through what do your insights mean, what do your analytics mean. And the reason why you're probably thinking, why is it in October? That's really far away. You need to build up some traffic on your page. You need to build up likes. You need to build up insights before those numbers mean anything. Because if you don't have a lot of activity on your page, they're going to oscillate. You're going to get an alert one week where it's like, oh, viewership's up 200%. And then next week it's going to be down 200% because when you only have 5 people who have liked you and they're doing anything on your page or interacting with your page, it's going to skew those numbers like crazy. Give yourself a few months to build up some content and an audience, and then those numbers will start to actually mean something, and we can sort of control them and, for lack of a better term, manipulate them in your favor. Try to increase your activity with your customer base in a variety of ways. So that being said, stick with local business or place for indexing, and we'll talk about that again in the October webinar. So I'm going to name my business or place. Since I already have Amber's awesome page, I'm going to call this Amber's awesome business because I'm not very original. I'm not going to give it a street address. If you work out of your home, don't put your street address. I don't want you to have stalkers at your home unless you're cooking dinner and then I'm coming over with my whole family. There's only 4 of us, and one of the kids is a baby, so she won't eat anything. So we only have to feed 3 of us. My 4-year-old eats like a tank. Be prepared, right? I am going to leave Palm Bay, Florida, because I want to be able to be included in a local search. If you are not comfortable with that, pick your next major metropolitan area. So I would either I'm kind of smack dab in between. I'm the same distance from Jacksonville as I am from Miami, and I'm about an hour and a half out of Orlando. So I'd probably pick Orlando. And you don't have to put your zip code. Uh, you don't have to put your phone number. If you don't have an 800 number, please consider getting one. I'm sure plenty of you have watched the welcome video that Chad created where it talks about that branding. The 800 number is a number where they don't have your personal cell phone number, which you probably don't want to put that out on the internet. Totally understand, but it does give them ability to contact you, and you are a business. You should have a phone number up there for legitimacy. Since I hand out my phone number to agents once you do a consultation with me, I will put mine on there. All I ask is that you don't call me at 3 o'clock in the morning, although lately I've been up, so we might be able to have a really cool conversation. Also, please keep Get Tips in Messenger checked. It's going to give you some really great tips to help you build your page up based on your activity and your client and customer behavior. Right? So now I'm going to click on Get Started. I need to choose a category first. Just kidding. Scroll down. Oh, and let me close out this so I can actually see everything. And scroll down. Tour agency. There are a few different options you can pick. Tour agency is the one I like the best. So now I'm going to click on Get Started, and it's actually going to do what I want. Okay. You must have to go in and delete the street. I've never had to fill out the street before. Now it's going to take its sweet time. There we go. I filled out a fake address. That is not my real address. You can go in and delete it afterwards. And there's also, I'll show you how to do this. There's an area where you can check the box that says don't publish it. Facebook, just to give you a heads up, is notorious for changing itself. In fact, I don't know if you noticed, but it'll randomly do updates. Yesterday or the day before, it updated so that if you type in Harry Potter things, it changes the color of the words and it makes magic happen, which is really cool. But then they change other things like you have to type in an address. All right, so I'm now on my sort of blank canvas page. And you're going to see a couple things. Here it says add a cover. I have an A because my name starts with A of my business page. I also have a create an @ username. I have a whole slew of options down here on the left. We'll talk about those later. I've got like, follow, share, additional options. These options are only for the page admin. I can add a button. We'll talk about that a little bit later too. This is very important. I have no friends who might like your page. I want you to remember that because after you spend a lot of time setting up this page, making it all pretty, getting it ready to rock and roll. I want you to send this out to your friends. Just like we talk about the Circle of Friends letter. When you first sign on to OA, that's one of the things we recommend. Send the letter out and say, "Hey, I'm starting my travel business." If you're not established in the business, you may be established, and not send that letter out because they already know. But if you don't have a business page, you'll want to send this out to your clients, okay? And if you are not friends on Facebook, I don't recommend being friends with clients unless you are friends first, by the way. We'll get into that a little bit later too. You can, but if you are friends with them, you can invite them from here. You can also email them an announcement, right? Then you have instructions over here, page tips, add the cover photo. Again, there's some redundancies. Create a username for your page. I don't care which one you do first. I'm going to do create an @username. What does creating an @username do? It gives customers the ability to uh, like your page. It gives customers the ability to, it gives you a dedicated URL or what we call a permalink. So you now will have a permalinked page. So you can include it on your business cards, in your emails, on all your collateral, so on and so forth. When on your web page, you can now have a Facebook button, a like us page, visit our Facebook page. And then it also allows people to contact you via Messenger. Why is that important? Because you're probably like, why do I need them to contact me via Messenger? Before I worked for Outside Agents, I trained the social media team for Ford. And one thing that we advocated for, and I firmly believe, is that you keep people in the channel they contact you in for as long as possible, unless they request different otherwise. Meaning, if somebody reaches out to me on Facebook and asks me questions, I keep them on Facebook as long as possible until I have to move them into a different channel. So for some people who are phone friendly, they might be like, oh, I don't want to do that. I only want the Facebook page because I have to have the Facebook page, or I feel like I have to have the Facebook page. Spoiler alert, you don't. It is your prerogative. Um, I do recommend it though. I digress. Uh, you want to keep them there because that's how they're comfortable. Now, and you don't want to move them to phone just because that's where you're comfortable. Remember, it's about your client and their needs. That's what you're there for, right? I always tell people you don't sell travel, you sell your services, and your knowledge and your expertise. But anyway, so if they contact you via email, keep them in email as long as possible. That's going to be tough for some people who are really, like I said, phone friendly, love talking on the phone. Your sales skills are phone sales skills. I get it. Some people can just, you could sell water to the ocean uh, if you get them on the phone, but that doesn't mean that's what the client wants. Sometimes a client will contact you via Facebook and be like, listen, can we talk on the phone? Switch to the phone at that point. They've let you know what they need. Just some business advice that relates back to having this Facebook page. So you want to create that @username. This is Amber's awesome business. So I would like my username, and you can see it's telling me it's not available. This contains words that aren't allowed on Facebook. Now, I'm not getting that message anymore. That's because I am now in a safe realm. I've got the nice little check mark. That check mark means I am good to go. Try to keep your URL simple, all right? Or your @username simple, because this is going to become your permalink. You don't want it to be something complicated. If you have a name like vacation destinations, you're going to have trouble getting a permalink because there's probably lots of companies that have that username. So you also want to try to be a little creative as well. Think about that. How can I convey my business without doing something that has already been done? It happens a lot for those of you who are in the Disney family. You book Disney. Welcome. By the way, we're going to be best friends forever. But if you're in that family, you're going to have a lot of trouble because a lot of them are always like pixie dust, um, mouse ears, mouse whatever, WDW, Disney. Those are hard to get a hold of because those people who specialized in Disney Travel Company, Disney Cruise Line, they grab onto them. So just be cognizant of that and try to make your mark. So here's Amber's awesome or Amber's business page. Could also be Amber's awesome business if that's available. I'm going to create my username. I'm all set, and you'll see it tells me what I've done. So it reaffirms that I've done something good. So it says the username for at Amber's business page has been created for Amber's awesome business. It's now easier for people to find your page in search. People can also visit your page at facebook.me, Amber's business page, and send you page messages at m.me/Amber's business page. Ta-da! I'm easy to find now. Well, a little bit easier, right? The next thing you want to do is update your picture. A lot of times this is where you're going to put your logo, all right? And I just want to check something. I want to make sure you guys can still hear me. Okay, cool. This is where you're going to put your logo. If you have a pen and paper, please write this down. If you don't worry, it's on our sheet. But I just want you to remember your profile image is 170 pixels by 170 pixels. It is a perfect square. Most images, if not all images, don't come out 170 pixels by 170 pixels. So I'm going to do a brief art tutorial for you on how to change that image quickly. So I'm going to go here. I have Paint open. Paint is on everybody's computer. If you are on Windows 10, it can be a little hard to find. Go down to your search and just type in Paint. Ta-da! If you are fancy and you have Photoshop, you can do it in Photoshop. Photoshop also has an online tool. You can just search Photoshop online for free, and it's an actual Adobe product that has no charge. But if you don't do any photo editing, it might be a little complicated. Paint is easy. So here's Paint. I'm going to hit File, Open. I already have an image, all right? And I've saved it. There's me. Ta-da! I am cute, but not as cute as those penguins. So I'm going to click on Resize, and then I'm going to select Pixels. 170, I'm not going to keep the ratio, so I want to uncheck this box by 170. So if I don't care that looks a little funky, I can do that. You also have the crop tool. Select. Hit crop. Now it's a little bit closer, right? I'm going to do this one more time because I'm not a perfect square. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I'll crop it one more time. That's closer to a square, right? So I'm going to click on Resize. Oh, I'm so close. I think because I'm so close, I'm only 20 pixels off, I'm going to maintain that aspect ratio, right? With Facebook, if you have a image, you don't have to resize it at all. Honestly, it will resize it for you. I am a control freak. When I have a logo for something or an image for something, I want to control how it is manipulated. So that's why I do this. If you don't care, go forth and conquer and just enter it as is. So I now have my image and I'm going to do 170 x 170 so I know what size it is. I'm going to save it. I'm now going to go back, click on here. Just kidding. There we go. Make sure you click on the little picture or it's just going to open that A as a photo and you're going to go, what is going on? Upload photo. You can also, if you are doing this on mobile, And remember how I said I never hop on my desktop? Doing anything to OutsideAgents.com, our page, or any business page or any other page I run is the only time I really use Facebook on the desktop, really. It is very cumbersome to use or build things on my page on the mobile. But you can, if you're using Facebook, your Facebook business page on the mobile, um, you can take a photo from there if your image is going to be yourself. We're not going to be posting about bridezillas. I'm going to choose this photo, hit open. Now it's loading. Now because it's not a perfect aspect ratio, it wasn't 170 by 170. I have to kind of fit it in. I'm going to cut a little this way. Normally it would be your logo, so it wouldn't be so like, what am I trying to do? I want a little more penguin, a little less person in the background. You also, it has stretched it for me to make it fit because it's a little small. So there we go. If you are getting a logo done by a professional, they should give you or should offer you a logo that has been converted to the correct size. All right, so if you have a logo designer, you can always go back to them and ask them for a PNG or a TIFF or a JPEG, whatever that is in the correct size. So now I have my my image. I'm going to add a cover photo. Again, I'm going to upload a photo. You can also choose from established photos. A couple things to know. You need to make sure your cover photo is optimized for both mobile and desktop. Your profile image doesn't matter. Your your cover photo does, unfortunately. The sizes you need for desktop, it needs to be 851 pixels by 315 pixels. And for mobile, it's 640 pixels by 360 pixels. So I have two here. I'm going to pick, let's do this one because I think I picked this one as travel. Oh yeah, that's so pretty, isn't it? I stole that from the internet. Please don't steal things from the internet without permission, especially not for your business. You could be sued. You can use images from vendors will provide you with images that are optimized. You can create your own, or you can go to search for royalty-free images. And when we go into Facebook, the next series, it's going to talk about sourcing content. Things like cover photos will be included. So this one is one that's actually created fbcoverstreet.com. I don't recommend using something with somebody else's advertising on it for your business page. I'm using this for the sake of the demo because they've already done the work for me. I don't have to worry about optimizing it. I'm going to hit save. Ta-da! It looks so pretty, doesn't it? It's looking like a real page. All right. Pretty much now, I technically have a page. I have no business information or anything like that, but sorry guys, I should have turned off my email notifications, but it's too late now. We're just going to have to ride the wave. All right. I have no business information at this point, but technically I have a page that is launchable. It looks nice at the very least. But you need to let people know you're open for business. So next, you're going to want to add a short description. What are you about? I'm going to describe my business. Amber's awesome business is in the business, because I'm cute, of making travel magic happen. Let us help you make your next memory today. Smiley face. Please type something that's way better than what I just put, but you get the idea. So I've added a description. Now I went over to the left-hand side and I started just clicking buttons randomly. That is what I want you to do. You're going to think I'm crazy, but if you don't freeze up your computer like I did mine. Even though I already started it today, it's mad. Just start clicking and reading, because the thing, I can't stress it enough with Facebook, it's going to allow you to, I think all the emails are probably, there we go. That might help. My poor inbox never gets any love. And now it's like, oh, I'm getting a ton of emails. All right. And I veered off course. My apologies. Just start clicking around, because Facebook will tell you what to do in that section. And just because a page is established doesn't mean that goes away. So for example, I'm going to go here. Dear Lord, please let everything be appropriate. It is. Excuse me, people are messaging me. Let me go to, this is a travel page I run with our amazing director of business development, Missy Reed. We sell travel together on the side, albeit I do absolutely no selling because I just had a baby, so I sleep mostly. Let's see, we're gonna wait. So you can see, look, right here, these buttons, all the things you need to do. It will give you step-by-step instructions. Here are page tips on the right. Activity on how many people have liked you, things like that, so on and so forth. I'm really quite proud of this post because I did it. Let's see if this is unfrozen. Nope, it's just going to wait there. I hope that's what I named it. I named it Amber's business page. That's how good my memory is. Ta-da! All right, I was able to get back, and hopefully it won't be frozen. When you click around, it won't be so bad for you. Don't do it on the webinar, no, because it's going to stress out the system. All right. It's still stressing out. Let's close that one. I'm going to go over to here since it seems to be have less freak out. This is why you always have a backup. So you'll want to go to edit page info is what I'm trying to get you to do, because people need to know your business is open. So you're going to get options, company name, you can edit that, all right? Your description, you can add that in, your category, don't worry about impress them, phone number, enter your phone number, your website, your email address. So remember we talked about street address? You can click it if you want. You can, it required us to enter the street address into the information. You can edit it from here and take it out. Open on selected hours. This is important for those of you who don't want to get calls at 3 o'clock in the morning to your 800 number. You can set your company hours. Some people, if any of you are on the travel agency's best practice group run by Charlie Funk on Facebook, you'll hear there's like almost two factions. Those who are like, I'm open all the time and I always take a call and I'm never closed and 7 days a week. And I'm like, oh my goodness, you guys are like amazing. And then the people who are like, I close my business, I run it like a real business, and I have set hours, as you can see here. And for those people, I say, good for you. It's your business. That's the best part. You run it how you want, and everybody's different. But you can put those hours here. If you want to see it all in one window, click on see all information at the bottom. And now you get to know all my business. A lot of people, including Missy and myself, tend to neglect this side. Please don't. One thing about social media is it's about making a connection and about talking one-on-one with people at a really deep personal level at times. It's fun. So a story is really important. Why are you doing this? Why are you selling travel? It can be as simple as you were like, I was, tired of the corporate life and I wanted to, live free. Travel means a lot to me. Travel's something I've always been good at. I was sick of putting on a suit every day, and I don't want you to have to worry about things. I'm a control freak, whatever. I want you to put it in there. And a couple things, it needs to be genuine. Please don't lie. People can tell when you're not being genuine. It needs to be heartfelt. If it's not that great a story, that's okay. Spice it up with jokes or spice it up with your personality. I highly doubt anyone who chooses to be in the travel industry, which by the way is not everybody on the outside of it is always like, "Oh my gosh, it's so fun. I bet you have the best time." And what's the other one? Oh, you travel for free everywhere, right? No. And it's hard work. So you chose travel for a reason. Your story is good. Just because you don't think it's that interesting doesn't mean your clients don't think it's that interesting. So please fill it out. Fill out your business details. You, for your own edification, for your own pat on the back, for your own like attaboy, fill out your start date. Even if it's today, this is your first day with us and you're like, I'm hopping on this webinar. I want you to be able to go back in a year that after this page has been established and say, wow, look at how far we've come. I want you to see how your posts have changed. I want you to see how your audience has changed, but also you're a business owner and that's a really big deal. So I want you to be proud of that. So put it on there so your customers can be proud of it too. You can add your contact info. You can also add other accounts. It'll allow you to link to other things. So it allows you to add your Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, YouTube. I don't use Line, Kick. I tried Kick. It was not that big a deal. I use Pinterest. I use Tumblr. I use SoundCloud, Spotify, LinkedIn, Skype. I use none of the other ones. Some of you may. I feel like they're a little bit beyond me. I have a Snapchat. I'm never on it. Don't try to snap with me. But you can enter your other accounts so your clientele can reach you multiple ways. I will say you're running a business, you're running a travel business, you need at least an Instagram. Twitter, it's debatable. Some people are like, you have to have a Twitter. It's one of the big three. I don't agree. Definitely get a YouTube channel because I want you to be able to convert those Facebook Lives onto YouTube so that you have that presence. Pinterest, it's still pretty popular, a pretty popular platform. It does have a sales component that they have launched recently. If any of you are big pinners, you'll recognize it. A lot of stuff from Etsy has migrated over to Pinterest's selling platform. Totally up to you. You can take it or leave it. So you have to have an Instagram. You really have to have a Facebook account. If you're trying to reach a very young demographic, like borderline, like older millennials, borderline Gen Xers, or the Zennials, whatever that new mid demographic is, you might want a Tumblr, but you could live without it, honestly. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube are the big three. Some people might feel differently. I would say they're wrong, but to each his own. So you can add those account details. If you were food, you could add a menu. You don't have a menu. Unless you're going to do a travel menu, which is really cool. We're a tour agency. Another big one, as my screen dances, reviews. You want to make sure you have your reviews turned on. This is where you're going to send your clients to come and review you. That means they're going to say, Amber is the best travel consultant ever. She told us everything we needed to know, and she had champagne sent to our room. It was great. Everyone book with her. Uh, and when we get into sourcing content, the 201, we will talk about how to ask for those reviews because those are part of your content sourcing. You should always be asking your clientele for reviews, but you just want to make sure this section is on. All right, let's see if I can go back to business page or is it's still frozen. All right, let's talk a little bit about the top buttons back on our home page. So we've added our image, we've added our logo or our cover photo, we've added our username. So we've talked a little bit about how to, the review section is automatic. We've talked about adding our business info. So now we're going to talk about this center area here. I'm just going to kill it, see what happens. All right, so Facebook doesn't want to leave anything to chance. So that's great. Love you, Facebook, because it tells you exactly what action you're going to be doing. All right. So you can share a photo or video, advertise your business, create an offer, start a live video, publish a job post, create an event, get a message, or get phone calls. There's one more, write a note. The ones you're going to be doing the most often are going to be share a photo or video. This is where you actually post. You can write text posts, but as a business, you should never be writing just a text post. Your text should always be attached to some photo or video. My friend just had a baby 2 days ago, and she's sending photos. So cute. I'm going to turn this off, though. Thank you. You'll as you get better with Facebook, you're going to start some live videos. So share a photo or video is really easy. I'm going to click on this. It's going to give you some options. You can create a photo album, create a photo carousel, create a slideshow, create a canvas, or upload photos or videos. If you are in my webinar right now, you are in Facebook for Beginners. The only one you really want to be using, or the only two, will really be upload photos and videos, and create a photo album. These other three, the carousel, the slideshow, and the canvas, are a little more complicated. I'm not going to speak to them today because they're a little more complicated. To upload a photo or video and you're on the desktop, you're just going to click on upload a photo or video, and then you're going to click on your photo and it's going to upload it. It's also going to give you the opportunity to write some text. If you post a photo, write something with it, please. All right, and then create a photo album. If you want to do a mass upload, let's say you're on a site inspection, you took a bunch of pictures, you want to put them on Facebook, you're going to do create a photo album. All right, we're not going to talk about create an offer, but you do have the potential. If you want to talk about advertising or offers, we need to do that in a one-on-one session, because before you do that, I want to work out the details with you. It's a little more involved than people think, and it never fails. The first time you decide I'm going to do an offer, it's either an offer that's not necessarily the best offer, or you're giving away the farm. I want you to I want you to think of everything you post on Facebook as a free sample of your consultation service. So then you don't need to do like 20% off your first booking. Please don't do that. You're going to be eating that loss. It's going to be more than your commission, obviously. And then your client is going to expect it each time. Don't devalue your service. You can't also, though, do the other one I'll see is a 30-minute free consultation. That's going to scare people off because they're going to say, what happens when the 30 minutes is up? So we're going to talk about things that you can do for offers in a one-on-one setting that work for your business model. Live video, we're going to have a whole training for that. Get phone calls. This is an important one. This is to create a post that will drive phone calls. Again, we're not talking about offers, but it is an option. So the last thing I want to talk about today before we go to questions is we're going to talk about buttons. This is a button. And you can add different buttons on your page. I really want to do this from a blank page. Let me see if it'll let me. There we go. So when you don't have any buttons established, it'll give you the option to add a button. Button options are book services. If you're going to use a button like that, I would do request time so they can request an appointment with you. And this is all integrated into Facebook. It will send you a message about it. Or the best ones you can honestly use are the get in touch, the call now, contact us, which is an email, send message, which is a direct message within the Facebook platform. We use sign up on OutsideAgents.com. Because that was the one that got the most traction for us. We get a lot of people who don't really want to talk to us. They already like what they saw. They just want to sign up with us as agents and then move on to the next step. That's one you're not going to really use. You could do get quote. I don't recommend it. Send an email is a really popular one too. So if I was making a recommendation, and it's all about my recommendations right now, call now, contact us, send message, send email. So those are the 4 ones you want to consider. But setting up a business is easy. I'm going to click on call now. You'll see I can just type in my phone number. So it'd be 321-442-2742. Ta-da. So now every time somebody clicks on that, it's going to call my cell phone. Please don't call my cell phone right now. All right, let me go back to my magic sheet. So we talked about adding a profile picture, a cover photo, and a URL. We talked about setting up your time. We talked about taking action via the add a button. We talked about putting up a post via photo. You again can also my page. Do text posts. I don't recommend it. Every post should have a graphic element to it. Facebook rates the quality of the post. It starts with video. Video is the best quality content. That means using Facebook's algorithm, which we're not going to get into. We'll talk about that at a later training. Facebook ranks, and more people are going to see your videos than are going to see your photos, and more people are going to see your photos than are going to see your text posts. It used to be that if somebody liked you, they automatically saw your stuff. That is not true anymore. You're even ranked. Your content is even weighted among the people who have liked your page. They're not necessarily going to see your content. It's not going to filter to their feed to the top, which is a bit of a frustration. We're going to talk about ways to get around that in the 201 session, because that's your content sourcing. That has to do with how do you manipulate your content in a way to make sure more people are seeing you. What we did not talk about, and we will cover in 201 when we talk about content sourcing, is also when to post. There are different times during the day and days of the week that are better than others to maximize your exposure. So that being said, your page is set up. We talked about adding the information. You're ready to go. You have a business page. You can see everything is set up for you. And it, again, page tips will tell you what to do next. So I'm going to start looking at questions. Let's see. Everyone can hear me. Thank you. I'm just going to, I'm not trashing your questions without reading them. A lot of them are just the highs. So let's see. Can you repeat your email address? Yes, again, it's amber@OutsideAgents.com, or you can submit a SOS ticket, or I'm not always logged in, but if you find me, I'm dressed like a Pikachu on the forums. I believe my username, in fact, I'll go to it because I believe I have it open over here. Actually in my messages. See, I'm dressed as a Pikachu. Don't ask. You probably don't want to know. But if you find ambermiller-outsideagents.com, that is my active account. I have another one that's for demo purposes only. Don't message me at that one. I'm never on it. I just demo from here, to be perfectly honest with you. But you can contact me on there as well. I don't answer as fast as I would if you email me And if you want a consultation, please email me because I'm going to create the calendar invite directly from Outlook. If you have a question, you can email me. You can find me on the forums or oops, not this one. Please don't mess with me. This is my personal Facebook. And I don't answer work questions, but my page here is, I am facebook.com /Amber OA. So please feel free to reach out to me. We can be Facebook friends on that account. And if you talk to anybody who has dealt with me on Facebook, I will message you on Facebook. I answer them. So we talked about the 24 hours a day. If you have a question on the weekend or if you have a question after hours, I will do my best to get to it on Facebook. I do not answer forum questions after hours, and I don't answer emails after hours, but I do if you have like an emergency, or even it doesn't have to be an emergency. Honestly, you're like, I just really want my question answered. Message me on Facebook, and I will get back to you. And I don't mind because it usually, if I get back to you pretty quickly, it means I'm just playing Digger Saga or Candy Crush, and I'm not doing anything better with my time. And so I have the time to answer your questions. So those are the best ways to contact me. You do, obviously, I put my cell phone number up. I do ask, please text me, don't call me. I have a 6-week-old at home, and although she's pretty good at sleeping, my 4-year-old, who has camped out in my bedroom now for quite a while, does not. And at 10:30 at night, she will wake up even though her sister will sleep. Do I have a printed page? Yes. Don't forget these learner guides will go up. If you would like me to email you a copy of the learner guide, again, add that to your email. I will send it to you since it's going to take a little while for us to get these uh, videos up in the LMS. If you aren't able to attend the rest of the series, don't forget these will be in the LMS. And then since you have attended this webinar, again, we can also do a quick one-on-one that works within your schedule. I will take meetings from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The caveat is you are going to have to schedule those out much farther in advance than you would a meeting that is during normal business hours of 9 to 5:30. So be cognizant of that. But for those of you who do work, travel is right now not your main business, it's your side business, or you're just very busy during the day, you have a lot of clients. I can work with outside of the OA hour parameters, but it takes longer to get that meeting set up. And a lot of them are about me. I'm so glad you guys want to hear my voice again, that you're like, is this going to be recorded? Yes. How do you like your business page and your Facebook page if you already have a business page? Can I delete the business page and start over? You can delete the page and start over, but you don't have to. So LaShonda, in your instance, what I would recommend is let's get that one-on-one consultation set up. I do them in the GoToWebinar system, so that you can see my screen and then I can see your screen, and I can actually turn presenter over to you and give you instructions on how to manipulate your Facebook to do what you want. It's not we're just going to talk on the phone for 15 minutes. Like I said, they're an hour to an hour and a half. I had one go for 2.5 hours. That was an intense marathon. So now I've started just splitting them up into smaller increments, because 2.5 hours, you're not going to absorb all the information. So you'll usually, like I said, we do about 3 or 4, and they're all free of charge. So don't be afraid to ask. I don't mind spending the time if you don't mind spending the time. It's part of my promise to make sure that I get you up and running. It's not really something that OA cares if I do or don't do. It's just something that I want to do to make sure you are ready to rock and roll, as actually, honestly, all of our staff want you to be. So how do you like your business page? I got that. Oh, and then thanks, Lessa. She recommended Pixabay, which are their copyright-free photos that you can use. How do my clients add photos into albums? Jenny, your clients cannot add photos into albums on your page. They can post a picture to your page. What you're going to want to do is ask them to provide you with some pictures and a review that you can post on their behalf in addition to the star review. And again, we can talk about that in the one-on-one session, but if you want clients to post to your page, they can do that. They just can't do a whole album for you. That's what you're going to have to put it into an album. And that we'll cover that a little more in 201. How do you balance your time with Facebook, Instagram? I will feel overwhelmed. So that is a really great question, Lillian, and I get that asked a lot. One, you can dedicate as much or as little time as you want because the numbers that they give you to have a successful Facebook page are really intense. And if you don't have a social media specialist who's doing that work for you, it can be overwhelming. So a couple things I recommend: scheduling posts ahead of time, reusing posts, and asking clients to source the content for you. So all you have to do is throw it up there is my biggest recommendation. The other thing is when you post to Instagram, your Instagram can feed into your Facebook business page. So you're double dipping a little bit. So that helps too. The biggest recommendation I have is that remember, Facebook is not a great way to gain leads. For some it is, but for most it's not a lead retention. It's not a lead generator. It's a client retention tool. So it's a way to keep clients interested. I don't know why I can't say that word right now. Interested. Thank you. Sorry. I must need I need some caffeine. I think it's getting on that time, right? Uh, it's a way to keep them interested and engaged and maintain that top of mind awareness with your clients so that when they do start to think of their next vacation, they remember you. When we in the sourcing content, we're going to talk about why you don't hard sell on Facebook and how to sell without hard selling. Again, ask anyone who's been to one of the boot camps. We talk a lot about how to be sneaky about selling, and that's the important thing. But getting content to push from one platform to another is a really good way to lessen the time you're going to spend doing that. What do you mean by sign? Oh, sign up. So if you wanted people to register, we're a company where people sign up to be a membership of us. So that's what the sign up button would be for. Obviously, that's not going to work for you. The buttons, you manipulate them to do what you want. If you don't have the add a button, how do you add a button? That is a good question. Let's go to the page. And it looks like we're going to run a little over. Feel free to hop off, but I will stay on as long as it takes to get to the end of these questions. So I'm going to go to my page. If I can find the arrow, there we go. Go to Amber's awesome page. Oh, this is not the right one. There it is. Has a picture. Amber's business page. If you do not have add a button, it should be under here. The three little dots. You should have that option. If not, it should also have it under the settings section. And it should also have it, there's a lot of redundancies, and it should have it under here in this menu. If it's not showing up for you, and those aren't an option, I need to see your page to see where it's gone to. So we'll have to, again, set up that one-on-one so I can figure it out, because sometimes I just need to see it. Let's see. All right. How do you view what the public sees? Oh, there is, and I can never remember how to do this, and be honest with you, because I just go on it intuitively. There is a view. Give me 1 second. So I'm going to full disclosure you right now. I literally am on my phone because I can't remember off the top of my head, and Googling how to view my page as someone else on Facebook. Okay. Page, there should be a view as button. I thought that's what it was. I found it on this one easier. Can't figure out why. It was in a weird spot. There's a view as button. Oh, that's why. There we go. Just kidding. Go to your page, tap the more, tap these little buttons. Ah, view pages, page visitor. I knew I wasn't crazy. I mean, I am, but not about that. So let me go back to my page before all my messages pop up. That's not awkward at all. Good thing. I mean, I'm going to Disney in 44 days, and I know I live in Florida, so you're probably thinking going to Disney, but I love Disney that much that we go stay there. So we're talking about all the things we're going to do. View pages visitor. So again, the ellipses are your friend. Here's what the page looks like to visitors. The only thing that your they won't see, so it's kind of a misnomer then, isn't it? Is they will not see this. You can see it looks a little different. As you source more content, it'll start looking significantly different because there will be more it'll pop up photos and just like in the Facebook feed, it ranks the posts based on engagement. In the in on your page, it usually will give you like popular posts and then it will give you the chronological posts. All right. Sante asks if you have previously set up a travel business page but need to relaunch, do you recommend editing the current page? I recommend editing the current page, to be honest with you, versus creating a completely new one, unless your username has completely changed. And even then, you can change this, can be edited, believe it or not. In fact, I believe somebody is on the webinar is going to have that question. So let's go over here. I'm going to switch back to the view. You're not going to do it from there. Why are you being glitchy, Facebook? Don't you know I'm trying to train? I need you to do what I need you to do when I need you to do it. Let me go to this one. I like copying back and forth. Maybe if I just hit enter, it'll do what I want. Oh, my internet speed dropped, so now it's being difficult. I hope things aren't going crazy because my internet's slowed down. You can change your page URL in the page information. So even if your company name has changed, you can still see, you can still change it. So I would maintain the page. That way you don't lose the likes or if they're already established there, and you don't have to build up from scratch. For those of you who wear makeup, it's, you know how they say it's better to just build up over than to kind of clean up halfway, which is what happens because the internet is forever.